on, guys, and welcome back to the... Wait, hold on 1 second. What was that? They're doing what? Okay, thank you. Well, it appears that Microsoft is laying off 10,000 people. What's going on, guys? That guy right here with the news you need to know. And I had a different video plan, but apparently breaking news is that Microsoft has decided to lay off 10,000 people as it seeks to trim cost. Now, 10,000 people is a lot. That has me very interested and curious as to how that's going to affect Xbox gaming. Xbox has already come out and stated earlier in the beginning of the year, or at the end of last year, that they were going to have a big year. But I think we can all agree this is not what they had in mind. We're going to talk about this, theorize what this potentially could mean for Xbox gaming as they have planned a potentially huge year for 2023, and just my general thoughts on this. Without further ado, let's get into the article. All right, guys, so here we are with the article. This comes directly from The Verge, but if you just, I'll post the full link to this article if you want to read it for yourself. I'm going to read it here as well because I want to stop in between and potentially what this could mean for Xbox, because if we think about it, this could have major repercussions on some potential releases and some of their big games that they maybe were going to announce for this year. Given the fact that they might be down a large majority of their staff, depending on how many people were fired from which studio, this, that, and the other, this could have major ramifications on future delays. And I posted a video the other day about potentially a delay coming for Starfield. It was just rumors. However, this is actually fact, and what this could mean is actually a big deal. So let's go ahead and read the article. So it says that Microsoft announces big layoffs that will affect 10,000 employees as Microsoft is cutting thousands of jobs, just as CEO Satya Nadella warns of a challenging 2 years ahead of tech companies. Now, this information here is potentially insight that we don't necessarily have yet, but apparently tech companies are ahead of a really rough year. It says that Microsoft is announcing big job cuts today, affecting 10,000 employees. In a memo, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says the company will be making changes that will result in the reduction of our overall workforce by 10,000 jobs through the end of 2023 Q3. More than 800 employees have been notified today, but the entire 10,000 layoffs should be completed by the end of March, while Microsoft is making cuts. Now, we just got to stop for a second and talk about this. 10,000 people will lose their jobs. Now, I hope it's unsure how many of these will come from, Xbox gaming, but Xbox gaming is a big part of Microsoft. It is likely that, I could see potentially 2,000 to 4,000 of these layoffs coming from Xbox gaming. And again, this is going to have major ramifications on potential releases that were coming out this year, maybe even into next year, as they will have to restructure the amount of workload is given out to people, to fill in for some of these vacant positions. So it continues on and says that while Microsoft is making cuts, Nadella says the company will continue to hire in key strategic areas. Affected U.S. employees will receive above market severance pay, healthcare coverage for 6 months, continued vesting of stocks for 6 months, career transition services, and 60 days notice prior to termination. So it looks like this isn't something that Microsoft wanted to do. I think that the severance package is definitely pretty nice. 6 months of healthcare coverage while they continue to, while those who are affected continue to look for jobs. 60 days notice. That's pretty nice too. Now, of course, this is not to, diminish the idea that nobody wants to lose their job, let alone 10,000 people. But I guess a silver lining is, if you got to lose your job, getting 6 months healthcare and, career transition services. I mean, I guess that's just not a fancy way of saying get you in touch with some headhunters or something that can potentially place you somewhere else. Microsoft currently has more than 220,000 employees, and this latest round of layoffs affects around 5% of its workforce. These cuts are also significantly larger than 1% cut Microsoft made to its workforce last year. Sounds familiar with Microsoft's layoffs, tells The Verge that today's cuts affect employees working on HoloLens and Microsoft Edge, as well as impacting workers in Microsoft's marketing team and at 343 Industries and Bethesda. Now, this is huge. This is huge. Why? Because Microsoft just bought Bethesda for a crap ton of money, and now they are being forced to cut some of those employees from Bethesda. This is huge for Bethesda because, if, as you may or may not know, I'm sure you do, Bethesda is launching two of Xbox's biggest games this year. Or actually, no. Bethesda is launching Starfield. Arcane is launching Redfall. So, but Bethesda launching Starfield, a game that likely will need a significant amount of support at launch, post-launch, is a big deal. 343 Industries, I'm not really sure what they're working on aside from trying to fix the horrible mess that was Halo Infinite. Potentially, that I think that still affects them as well. So either way, it's not necessarily something you wanna see for two of your biggest studios for Xbox. So in Nadella's memo, he also reveals that the company is taking a $1.2 billion charge in its Q2 earnings that are due next week. The charge is related to severance costs, changes to our hardware portfolio, and the cost of lease consolidation as we create higher density across our marketplaces or across our workspaces. That's interesting. Microsoft is due to announce its fiscal 2023 second quarter earnings on January 25th, which is ironic because January 25th is also the day that Xbox is planning on doing their live stream, their developer direct, highlighting some of their biggest, upcoming games. And its cuts and $1.2 billion charge clearly foreshadow some missed revenue targets in parts of Microsoft's business. Microsoft ended its 2022 fiscal year with $198 billion in revenue and $83 billion in operating income, and with its Microsoft Cloud surpassing $100 billion in annualized revenue for the first time. So then the article goes on to finish and says that the job cuts at Microsoft come just days after the company implemented a new unlimited time off policy. Microsoft employees that have unused vacation balance will get a one-time payout in April, and managers will be able to approve unlimited discretionary time off. This policy has had a mixed reception internally at Microsoft, with some employees favoring the flexibility and others warning of a lack of guaranteed days and benefits. The cuts also come just days after Nadella hinted that the software market and other tech companies would face a challenging 2 years ahead. And in an interview with CNBC, Nadella admitted Microsoft wasn't immune to the global changes and spoke of the need for tech companies to be efficient. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. That is the article. This is potentially a big deal. This is a big deal. It didn't necessarily go into detail into how much Bethesda and 343 Studios were going to be affected, but it's a pretty big impact, and I'm sure it doesn't stop there. I'm sure there's other companies, Xbox Gaming, that will be negatively affected by this outcome, and man, that's absolutely terrible. And so there you have it, guys. That is the news for today as it stands in the gaming world. This is absolutely a massive breaking news amount of information with the 10,000 layoffs and the structuring changes that Microsoft looks to be doing. And it potentially brings up the next question of, will it stop there? Will there potentially be other layoffs? If they can lay off 10,000 people now, who knows if that's going to be enough to trim the budget? And I don't know. It definitely has you worried. I don't know. Microsoft has been in a weird place as of late. I feel like Xbox specifically is trying very hard to evolve and change its layout and what it's trying to do and how it's trying to appease to the market, especially in the gaming sphere. And having people laid off in what is arguably Xbox's biggest year, or really a year that Xbox specifically needs to be a big year for them, it poses a number of questions. Now, I don't know how much this is going to affect Xbox. It really would have depended on how many people from specifically Xbox gaming side of Microsoft were going to be fired. But either way, nonetheless, no matter if it's 100 or 1,000, it's going to be something that impacts it. I guess the question will be how much. So this is something that we're going to have to wait on and see how much this is going to affect things. I don't know if they're going to talk about this on January 25th. I highly doubt it. They're probably just going to be trying to build hype for their future games rather than create worry and fear. But again, this is something that we're just gonna have to wait and see how this impacts things. But that's the news for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about these layoffs? Do you think this is gonna have a big impact on Microsoft or Xbox gaming specifically, or is this something that's just gonna be kind of a bump in the road for them? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new here. We'd love to have you. And as always, my name is That Guy Rye with the news you need to know. We'll see you in the next one.